tonight. Should have raised topic number 4. Says Black women are beautiful everywhere. So, I forgot what the timestamps were. Let me see something. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'm having pure problems here. Juana, do you remember what the timestamps were on this one?
Yeah, I say from 2 minutes in, and I say go. You could go to 5 or 10 minutes, well, however you decided. But
okay,
yeah,
from
2 minutes in though. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you. So this takes us to YouTube. We'll watch maybe 10 minutes of it while I try to fix up some stuff in the background, and then we'll discuss.
So far, I have 215 subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm sure. So I've been posting a little bit of Ahorita Cuban life. More closer. While we have snacks, as dinner, as breakfast, a typical Cuban life. Maybe a little bit of nightlife because I'm a tour guide. I'm gonna give you the details, not the whole information. It's just like for you to taste a little bit more what we see walking in the streets, the actual Cuban life, people going around. See a little, it's just details.
So can you tell me a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I was born in Santiago. And I moved to Havana. Finally. So I moved to Havana when I was 1 year old. So I'm like the 4th generation of Haitian communities. So my great grandfather, he was Haitian. Yeah, that's a big like community of Haitian living in Santiago and Guantanamo. Nowadays I'm representing the community.
And can you tell me if you know why that community initially moved to Cuba?
They moved to Cuba after the Haitian Revolution. The French, they moved to like the east of the country. They brought all of the domestic like slaves, and they started like the sugarcane production, or the industry, working in the fields, and they had like their settlement there. And nowadays, like the most important, that it will be like the birthplace of the Asian community, will be Guantanamo.
And so I wasn't stalking you on Instagram, but I did see that you had a lot of information or some current projects related to a Haitian Creole school. And if you could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we have a big community, as I said, but we are not fluent in Creole. We speak Spanish. Yeah. So what we do now, we are building in Havana a small school. So we have built it thanks to donations of Haitian Americans, other immigrants that are Haitian living in another country. And it's just there, like for us to feel much closer to our background, to our heritage, like be grateful with our, like descendants. And that's it.
¿Tú puedes bailar compa?
Compa, yes. It's easy.
Sí.
Salsa, slower. I'm more passionate. Much closer.
Yes. Okay. How does Havana compare to Santiago de Cuba? Obviously, you lived in both cities.
Yeah. My personal opinion, do not attack them. Like the actual Santiago people, they are more kind, very friendly, and you feel like you're at home the whole time. I see like the lifestyle is much lower, less busy. The food, do not compare with Havana. It's like the Cuban Creole food over there. It's more Caribbean, more tradition. We are more in touch with Jamaica, Haiti, the countries that we have much closer. So you have a lot of festivals, the carnivals is another topic. The Carnaval with Havana, they have the best carnivals, the best food, the best snacks, the beer. That Crystal Bucanero is big time people just like rushing by to get their beer. It's something different. You feel like the whole time. But compared to Havana, it's less safe. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe because they are like they struggle a little bit more financially. It's not always, it had never been recommended like going outside late nights, robberies. it has been always like that. Maybe with time it have improved. I don't have like good memories about it, but that's it.
Would you say, economically speaking,
Mm.
there's a lot more opportunities aquí in La Habana?
Of course, the capital. Everything's here. Everything. The best universities are here. The best schools. Everything. You can work in the industry. The main factories are here. The best hospitals. It's the central, the epicenter of the whole country. If you want to have a better salary, you have to have a.
So, what type of advice do you give first-time travelers, say men, coming to Cuba? What kind of advice do you give them?
Bring cash. This country ain't for credit cards. We're not ready for that. You're going to a cashier, you get like a really low rate. I don't know. I'm not gonna say what I actually think. Bring cash.
Okay.
Minimum
Per day.
per day. It depends because you have like the luxury type of clients.
Mhm.
They're not eating in an average restaurant.
Right.
Let's say 100.
100.
You know, 2 people in a restaurant easily, a nice restaurant, they can consume around 20,000 easily. Drinks and a main meal.
So,
The rate you see online for Cuban to US conversion is not the actual rate. The rate, as I speak with you right now, is about 320 to 1. In order to get the best rate, reach out to your Airbnb host. Promise me you'll never, ever go to an official change house. Their rates are 130 to 1. Come on, man.
So, okay. Who do you think has more fun? Would you say the tourists that go for the luxury or the tourists that like to go into the barrios?
You know, the people who want to see like the real life, the people that have been taken before to play dominoes in a corner,
Yeah,
to
claro.
have some rum,
Mhm.
get inside of a, what's the name?
Callejón de Jamo?
No.
No. No.
The drums and no.
Yoruba?
Nah, you don't know. The people that are curious about that, but
Yeah.
they don't know what they're getting into.
Mm.
You gotta learn. You gotta learn before you do that. I would never like recommend like getting to religion. You gotta study before you get into that.
Mm-hmm.
And see who that you get in the actual, ceremonies and there's a scam everywhere.
Yeah.
That's everywhere.
Mm.
The getting to the solar.
Okay.
You gotta take them go to a solar. They
Mhm.
wanna eat the same that you eat.
Right.
You think that's experience and those are memories.
Mhm.
Go to a hotel. Go to the swimming pool, stay there, lie there. Lie there. No. You go to a solar, you play dominoes, you play baseball with the kids,
Mhm.
you play basketball.
Mhm. And can you describe for the people what a solar is?
A solar. So a solar, it could be 10 small apartment in the same floor. One bed, one bathroom each. And what we call, let's just say a false ceiling. What we call the barbecue. You know what? That's me. I say, you know what they call barbecue because it could not have any windows.
Really?
Yeah, barbecue. You melt it. You melt there. Yeah, it's like an adaptation.
Mhm.
Do like another floor.
Mhm.
What is considered to be an attic is another room where people put beds.
I see.
Yeah, to have more space because like also families in here big.
Yeah.
They have to make
little
something.
partitions. Yeah.
Exactly, partitions. You have to share the same system of water.
Uh-huh.
You got people with the buckets to get the water.
Mhm.
It's very like.
Is that more common here in La Habana or in Santiago?
Remember, people come from the east to Havana to get better salaries.
Mhm.
So they have to fit whatever.
Mhm.
It's easy.
All right, I'll stop it there. I gave it 10 minutes. So the should be topic number 4 says Black women are beautiful everywhere. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll figure it out. Black Steel, what are your thoughts on what you saw just now?
Man, I ain't hear nothing that girl said, man. I just want to play in her hair, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't hear nothing she said, man. I heard her something talking about some bring cash.
let me go, Coco. Let me go, Coco. Because that might be the case for everybody.
Cash. Like, baby, how much cash you want me to bring, baby? Just tell me and I'm on my way, girl. Say less. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, let me go, Coco, because they ain't gonna understand it. So this guy is named Keenan Lambert. So for all the brothers who want to know if he goes to every part of the so-called Caribbean, Cuba, Panama, Haiti, and the places where you usually don't see the tourists, because he speaks Spanish, and he is actually from New York, but he's a Jamaican out of New York, and he speaks the language. But the reason for me putting up this post is because she's a Haitian lady. She's a Haitian lady, and people are not used to seeing. They have a particular view of how Haitians are supposed to look, or how Cubans are supposed to look. And this is the face of Cuba, and people don't really know. Black Steel, you must go to Cuba, brother. You in South Florida, you gotta go to Cuba, bro. You gotta go. It'll change your life, and especially the fact you're a friggin' socialist. So you gotta go. But Black women are beautiful everywhere. And it's just interesting in this particular video, for all the brothers who are interested, the fact that she is a young lady, but she's very sophisticated about her business. But within Cuba itself, they've been deprived with so many different things. So within this video, he gave her Popeye chicken. She never had Popeye chicken before. So he brought Popeye chicken with him when he came to Cuba, and he had to eat it on video, and she was just like, what is this? She don't know what chicken strips are. It boggles the mind, the perceptions of how we live in the so-called Western world and how other people live in the Western world, because Cuba is just an hour away from where I am right now. It's just an hour away. And the contrast is drastic in terms of how the Cuban people live. I notice Cubans, what I like about the Cuban women, they wear their naturals. You don't see them with a lot of makeup and stuff like that. They usually are very fit in comparison to the rest of the Caribbean. It's just a whole different reality that's going on in Cuba. And I don't understand why. I think that I think that Cuba should be visited more, especially she referenced Yoruba and the Yoruba tradition. When I go back to Cuba, I'm going in terms of looking at the religions and how it's been maintained, because I recognize that Castro allowed a lot of the African religions to flourish within Cuba. So there is African tourism, African religious tourism aspect down there. So when I go back there, I'm going primarily for that, because I need to investigate that a little bit more. But if anyone of your brothers was to watch this video, it's very insightful in terms of the culture, in terms of many Haitians went to go to Cuba, and there are many Haitians who actually speak Spanish. A lot of people don't know that as well. Many Haitians from Haiti and those areas, they speak Spanish because the Dominican Republic is so close, and many of them did migrate to Cuba as well. So by the time they get to South Florida, many of them really know and understand Spanish. People don't know that. But this is just a beautiful video, really just showcasing the fact that Black women are beautiful everywhere. And I just really wanted to share it with the brothers. So I'll leave it there.
A couple of things. I'm noticing as of late, there is this push for folks to recognize Haitians as Latino, because they speak French, which is a so-called romantic language, blah blah blah. But when I ask Azuli and them kind of guys about it, Azuli tell you they are no Latino. But there's a big push recently for folks to call Haitians Latino. Another thing I learned literally this year, and I didn't know Celia Cruz was Haitian by birth. She was Haitian by birth and grew up in
I didn't know that. I didn't know she was Haitian either. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that until this year. I heard that this year. I heard that like a few weeks ago, actually. So it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. The other thing I got from this video that was very interesting to me, I didn't know Cuba's conversion in terms of currency. I didn't know it was that low. It's only like 1 to 350 or something like that. That's pretty surprising. I would have thought Cuba. I would have thought the conversion would have been something huge, but 1 to 350 is very interesting. So Buana gave us the Passport Bro tour of this video. Let's throw it to Oni former.
Yeah, don't take your girlfriend with you to Cuba. Don't take your lady with you to Cuba.
Well, what I would say is, I don't know. I think there's bad sisters in Tanzania. I think there's bad sisters in Tanzania. I mean, this is a nice sister, but I mean, I don't really understand. I mean, I know Buana just explained it, but I don't really get the prompt. I mean, it seems like it's just a pretty sister talking about her life in Cuba. Okay. You know, I mean, I feel like real talk. I feel like there's beautiful women like in every, you know, kind of like what the prompt is. Black women are beautiful everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess it's yeah. I mean, I actually have nothing really to add to that. I mean, not having Popeye's chicken makes a lot of sense. You know, Popeye's chicken being an American franchise. You know, like an American business, and I'm guessing American businesses aren't really that popular in Cuba. But I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, it's just yeah, it's cool. People live different lives in different countries. But I would say, like I said, you know, I kind of like some more meat on my bones. You know, and yeah, I mean, I just like a little more meat. But yeah, she's a gorgeous sister. And I think a lot of sisters, no matter what country, are going to are really amazing. So yeah, I think that's all I can say.
I want to say you got to be too something to do something.
Thanks for that, Oni. Good conversation in the chat about the statistics, the demographic statistics of Cuba. I'm going to come back to Buana on that in a second. But I talked about the Latino designation that's being pushed heavy. For some reason now, it is being pushed heavy on Haitians. Jose said Latino is a broom with which they push history under a carpet. Trigger Happy 262 Plus says, I think the Latino identity makes no sense, so no Haitian should embrace it. Identifying as Black African or Black equals African makes more sense. Jose in the chat says this sister is glorious and looks like fun, vivid. Appreciate that. With that said, let me hear from Anthony. Anthony, what say you to this?
Okay, all right. Yeah, those okay, yeah. I was almost kind of like on it for a minute. I said, what do I need to say about it? But okay, okay. First, I address this. Well, the first things first. Like the prompt says, Black women are beautiful everywhere. All Black women are beautiful, whatever country, whether it's here in the United States or in the Caribbean or Central and South America or the continent. We can all agree on that. Black women are beautiful everywhere. I want to go to a couple of things, address a couple of things real quick if I can. Okay, first I go to what Koku was talking about that changing Haitian identity to Latino or Latin. Okay, and you kind of hit on it at first, Koku, where you were saying that yeah, because because of the languages, Spanish and French, are from what they call the Romance languages, the Latin languages derived from Latin, the language that the Romans spoke. Okay, I want to remind you. Now, in the 1950s, going up into the independence movement in Africa. Okay, all right. I know you've heard of the Central African Republic, right? All you brothers heard of that? Excuse me, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, y'all let me know. I'm talking over. Okay, the Central African Republic. Before the Central African Republic was by that name, it was called Ubangi Shari, the colony of Ubangi Shari. Okay, the first prime minister and president, his name was, his name was what is movie? His name was Felix Boganda. Hold on, it was Boganda. Hold on, what's his name? Boganda. I don't know if his first name was Felix, but his name was Boganda. His last name was Boganda. He was the uncle of the later president who became emperor, Jean Bedel Bokassa. Okay, Boganda. This guy Boganda. I think it was Felix Boganda. He was the first prime minister and president. Okay, now he was one of those guys who was one of those like a halfway Boigny and Leopold Senghor in Senegal. They was raised by the French. Excuse me. They were groomed by the French. To be puppets. Okay, now this Boganda guy, what he wanted to do, like it was around 1960 when the country became independent, and the countries of Central Africa, like Central African Republic, Congo, Cameroon, Congo, Brazzaville, they wanted to create a block, an independent block. And guess what the block was called? Latin Africa, the Latin Africa block.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was called the Latin Africa block. Yeah. So I mean, I'm tying that in. I'm tying that into what you were talking about the Latin identity. They wanted to create a block called the Latin block. So I mean, it's basically a way of of maneuvering stuff around, to the Western geopolitical sphere. Okay, that being said, right there, I want to go back to something that Buana was. Okay, this brother right here, I think I've seen him before. I watched probably a couple of his programs. I'm gonna tell you a brother who also went to Cuba and will give you probably a more in-depth thing. He's more culturally in tune with the environment, not only in Cuba, but in other parts of the Caribbean and Central and South America. This brother called Ace Live. You got to show Ace Live. Ace Live is a Haitian American. He's a Haitian brother. He was born in the States, but his family's from Haiti. He did a show in Haiti. I've been following for a couple of years, and he went to Cuba a couple of years ago, like a year and a half ago, and he went around. He was involved in the culture and learned about everything. And excuse me, and boy, and he opened up my mind to a lot of things. I did a little study before, but I know that in Cuba, now Cuba, like the demographics, it's about 60% or more of the people in Cuba are of African descent. Now, you have some who are mixed and they're different colors. They mix, you know what I'm saying? But it has a strong African element. And out of that African element, it has a strong element from Southeast Nigeria, from the Yoruba culture. Now, see, in Cuba, the Yoruba culture is called by another name. They don't call it Yoruba necessarily. Sometimes they do, but they call it Lakumi. They call it Lakumi. And it's a practice that we know, we call it Santeria in the States, but in Cuba it's called Lakumi. It is an African spirituality system. And it's very prevalent. And like you were saying, Fidel Castro, he made a strong effort. I give him props for that. A strong effort to preserve, those African cultures that were brought to Cuba. And it's very strong. It's called Lakumi. Because that's what they call the Yoruba who were brought. The Yoruba who were brought from Nigeria, to Cuba, they called them Lakumi. Now, some of the Nigerians that they brought to other places in Jamaica, whatever, Haiti, they call them other names like Nago. But in Cuba, they was called Lakumi. And it's very strong there. But that brother Ace Live, check out his blog. His show that he did in Cuba is much more informative than this brother's right here. I watched this brother before. He good, but he's more like a passport bro in the sense of like, yeah, I'm just paying. I just want to know a little bit something. But Ace Live is a guy who's more into, he gonna get you in the culture and everything. You know, like he go in the grassroots, he gonna get you in the culture. And that part made me laugh about the chicken, because as many chickens that they got in Cuba. You know what I'm saying? People in Cuba eat a whole bunch of chicken. Fried chicken, smothered chicken, they eat a whole bunch of chicken.
Yo, Anthony.
But I'm not off right there.
In fact, yeah, Ace Live is Ace Live is actually Asian, by the way. But first of all, let me say this, Anthony. I hope you get well and better soon, because I hear you're having some troubles. So I hope you get better soon and clear that scenario up. But I also hope that you get in the classroom, bro, because you have a encyclopedia kind of mind when it comes to these kinds of matters, and many people in Louisiana could benefit from your information, bro. You know, so I hope you do something with that, bro. Don't die with that. Don't die with that. But yeah, you're right though. You're right when it comes to the fact that Fidel Castro did allow a lot of the African religions. She's eating the chicken right now. A lot. Fidel Castro did allow for a lot of the African religions to be retained in Cuba, as opposed to these colonial Caribbean countries. And like I say, man, there's something about Cuba that I get that I didn't get. That it'll change. It's a life-changing experience, bro. You know what I mean? It really has me wanting to go back there and really just get involved in a whole lot of different kinds of things after my first time going there. It's a draw there. And I think that that you are right when you mentioned the fact that there is a lot of cultural aspects and elements to it. But I didn't know that the Western world is trying to pin Haiti with the Latin world. I didn't know they was trying to do that. I didn't know that, but since y'all bring it to my attention, I'll pay attention to it, and I'm going forward, you know. But I'll leave it there. I'll leave it.
Anthony, were you finished with your thought there?
Yeah, I'm good, Goku.
Okay, all right. I appreciate that. I heard from Blacks. I heard from everyone then. In the chat, Jose said something interesting. He said, Mbalax, I could be messing it up, or Balax, or Malax. Senegalese national music has Cuban music in its roots. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I have to look into that. Trigger Happy 262 Plus says a comb, for example, is just a ceremony on top of other ceremonies and rituals via Kandu. That's good to know too. He said earlier, many times a lot of African spiritual systems don't have names, but adopted names by using the names of either ceremonies or the name they use for the supreme being or even spirit. Good stuff. Before I move on to the next topic, the final one for tonight, Buono, when you were in Cuba, what did you notice? Just from your glance, what did you notice was the demographic? Would you say the demographic makeup of Cuba?
That's a curious question, because there's a mix. Where I stayed with a man who looked more from Spain. Okay, like people call white Spanish, but the people who was working within his house, they look like my mommy and your mommy, black women, you know. And you have a large swath of mixed race people, like through the airports when I was going. You know, we call them brown in Jamaica, and you know, uh, you know, brown skinned people who look just like our sisters. You know, you go throughout the airports, they look like our sisters. Beautiful women. And this ain't no joke, bro. So, you know, there's just a mix of different, as the Americans would say, skin tones. There's a mix. But like the brother said, it depends on where you are. If I am in Santiago, I maybe see the population different as opposed to Havana. In Havana, you see a big mix of black and mixed race people. In Santiago, maybe I don't know. I really don't. I didn't get a chance to go to Santiago. I'm gonna go next time, but I'm probably sure that there are probably a lot more brown people in them areas. It just depends on where you are in the country. It just depends.
Well, I'm sorry, I can barely hear you. Somebody's mic is on. Can we fix that? What's going on?
No, I think Buana had either YouTube on or a radio on in the background, right, Buana?
Oh, can you hear me now? That was my phone who was on. It was playing. Yeah, so y'all can hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so like I say, it just depends on where you are in the country. Okay, so if you are in Havana is the city. Havana is like Nassau. So you want to see a whole lot of different mixes. You're going to see white Cubans. You're going to see so-called mixed race Cubans, and you're going to see Cubans who look just like this gentleman right here. Okay, where I stayed in Verdado. In Verdado, you will see a lot of mixes too. You see people who white Cubans, you see mixes. So I'm still in the city center, but if you go outside in the country areas like Santiago, I didn't go to Santiago the last time. So in Santiago, there may be a lot of black folks down there. When I go next time, I'm gonna go to Santiago because that's where they make a lot of the cigars and shit. Because I wanted to like bring some cigars back with me when I came back. So when I go next time, I'm gonna go to Santi. I'm gonna just go. I just like the experience there. It's just a different feel. So and the kind of experience I'm gonna go. I'm gonna really investigate in terms of looking at it like blacks and whites and mixed race. I'm gonna look at it like that the next time I go. Either I gonna go first or Black Steel gonna go because he in South Florida, so he could go too. So one of us gonna get there first, but I'm probably gonna when I go again, I'm gonna look at that to see what the makeup actually is, rather than looking at it on the internet. I'm gonna see what it actually is. So,
hey, Buana.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, did you ever go to that city, Matanzas in the north?
In Cuba?
Yeah, it's like because they say it's like the Washington. They say it's like 80% black.
I could go there next time. The only place I went to Havana and I went to Verdado. Verdado is like the suburbs in the main city of Havana itself. But I'll go there next time. But I'll go to Matanzas and I'll go to Santiago. Yeah, I can go.
Yeah,
I'll go next time. Yeah, I'll go next time I go. I'll go next time I go. I'll keep that to go next time I go. But I'm going there again because, like I say, it's a life-changing experience, Anthony. I promise you, bro. It'll change your perception of reality. So I'm gonna go when I go again. I'm gonna go in them places, but I'm going as far as a religious kind of thing because I really would like to see how they change the Yoruba and the religions, the African religions in Cuba. So I'm going to go on based off of that. But since you tell me that, I'm gonna look into that. I'll look into that the next time because it's just an hour away from Nassau. It's just an hour away from here. So I'm gonna go again.
That sounds good. In the chat, last word from Trigger Happy says, I don't know if you could say Castro let a lot of African retentions flourish when he did ban a lot of African related things too. But that debate made it clear too. And that debate is earlier he posted, so you guys could check out that YouTube video that Shakara had about Castro when you guys have a chance. If there's no last thoughts on this topic, okay, 1 second. Trigger said I saw mostly mixed and Afro-Cubans. And then lastly, Trigger says, I think for many there is an importance in Cuba being black because if it was white, it would support some argument that American sanctions are being done on white people in Cuba. Anthony, go ahead, and anyone else with any last thoughts can go after Anthony. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like to say that, yeah, while Fidel Castro allowed the cultural aspect to flourish, he oppressed the hell out of the black political movement. You know what I'm saying? He oppressed the hell out of the black political movement. I mean, he stifled them. I mean, it's this brother named Carlos Moore, who's a black Cuban, Afro-Cuban. Man, he got some good work on it. And other writers too. Yeah, he didn't while he gave some token brothers, this and that. But yeah, he stifled the hell out of the black political movement. But you know, then again, you know, I let him do some cultural stuff, but there ain't gonna be no politics. I just want to say that.
But Anthony, Robert F. Williams, the guy who wrote the book Negroes with Guns, he went to Cuba, you know. So
okay, check this out. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Wow, I'm glad you said that. Guess what? You know what? Okay, it's just like this here. Okay, if you go back to the 60s, how the American government, how, you know, all of the shit that they did to keep black people, the oppression of black people here, they would allow an African diplomat to come over here and give him all kind of props. Like a Sumner Boyer, especially if he was a pro-West guy. Come over here and treat him just like a first-class citizen, but they treat the local black people like second-class citizens. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, we're going to let this black man, Robert F. Williams, come over here. You know, we're going to treat him right and make, you know, we're going to do good for him, but we ain't going to do this to the local black people.
Yes, sir. I understand that. Yes, sir.
All right, that turned out to be a good discussion, actually. Let's go shoot a brief stop.